there we go. We're in frame, perfect. G'day ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So, welcome to the new grinding room. Some of you guys might have noticed since the last video, this place looks a little bit different. About a year ago, we decided that we wanted to rethink the grinding room setup and make it just more open and more inviting and a lot more of a professional setup. So in the past, it was just sort of a big bench here with a whole bunch of wires hanging off it and VFDs hanging off it. Now they're all self-contained and a hell of a lot nicer. We're not entirely done yet, but I figured at this point, it's probably about time we do a video on the whole thing. We did document most of the footage, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let's get into it. Alrighty, let's get the voiceover happening like we're professional YouTubers or something today. So first thing you see me doing is I'm actually drilling out the diameter on these things and adding 4 extra holes into the bottom of this thing, just so we can use some larger diameter mounting fasteners into the concrete. I'm going to be hanging a hell of a lot of weight with these things because those 2 Wilmot grinders I've got, they're bloody heavy, and I was a little bit nervous that the holes in them originally weren't going to handle the weight we're going to hang off it. In hindsight, I reckon it would have been more than good enough, but hey, I guess it's overbuilt's better than underbuilt, hey? So one thing I'm also doing here is you see me pulling it apart. Now because I bought these stands from 84 Engineering at different times and some of them were secondhand, some of them already painted and none of them match. So one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to paint them to make them all match and look nice. And here you see me doing some drilling with some nice camera angles because I want to pretend I'm Alex Steele and, you know, marginally successful. Here we're just spray painting it, basically making them all match and making them all look nice and professional. I really like black hammered finish spray paint because it's just, it looks clean, especially with gravity fingerprints on it. And if we scratch it or fuck it up, as we will, we can just sort of touch it up as you go with a bit of spray paint and you never know the difference. And here you see me pulling the old stand off the grinder, and I damn near dropped this on myself at this point, which was great. Kind of a bit dangerous working alone sometimes, but we got it done. And here we're introducing Mr. Deanathy Cassisi. Now Dean is the unpaid fixer of everything and builder of it here at DB Blades, essentially. He is one of those guys that you give him enough energy drinks and enough cigarettes, he can fix or build whatever the hell you want him to do. He's done a hell of a lot of work for us here at DB Blades, and he's definitely helped the company out in many, many ways. Now, he also runs Reclaim Creative, where he stabilizes timber, and we actually buy most of our timber from Dean as well. He's really, really knowledgeable about stabilizing timber, and he does a really good work on that sort of stuff as well. One of these days, I'm trying to convince him to get on camera. So if you guys want to know a little bit about stabilizing timbers and that sort of stuff, let me know, and we'll see if we can bully him into talking about his products on camera. So here we're just chopping down the old thread bars, so we can actually use these as mounting fasteners for the concrete. So the idea is we'll actually drill some holes in the concrete, as you see here. We'll fill that full with Chemset, which is like a quick epoxy you use for concrete and steel. And we're actually going to Chemset these old thread sticks into the concrete and then mount it into the grinders down that way. Now here, before we do that, you see me fabricating the grinding stands. So these are the adapter plates that are going to work between the grinding stands and the grinder to make them fit. All my grinders are different models and different brands and stuff, so we had to kind of do this sort of stuff to make it all fit together. Now here you see me using the grinding discs from Norton Abrasives. I had the Norton rep drop a bunch of these off a while ago, and here you see me just giving them a go. They work really, really well, these flat discs, especially for what we're using them for here. Just prepping the weld here and welding them together with my little stick welder. Works okay. I've recently upgraded welders, which was making things a lot easier. Here we go, chem setting these into the concrete. Neither of us realized how quickly this shit sets off, so we can see us like panicking, rushing, and sort of getting it on there as quickly as possible. We very nearly ran out of time, so we had to get the hammers out and sort of beat the living crap out of it to make it fit, at least for the first one. And yeah, but it's all together now, and it worked great. I am filthy. Great. it's 11 o'clock at night right now, and this is cool. This is like super professional now. At least it feels like that to me. No more workbench. Already it feels so much more like open. I could easily have 3 guys in here and feel a hell of a lot more comfortable. The grinders work beautifully. But I drop them, flips without any issue at all. You can do them all one-handed. It's a hell of a lot nicer just on your back, because before, lifting them up like that, which is a flipping plate, you do that enough times of the day, you start to feel it. So it's quicker, it's easier, and now we've essentially got 3 almost horizontal grinders. I think it's going to make everything more efficient and make everything a lot better for the future. I'm really excited. I think 3-man course is going to be dope. The only thing that shits me off is that this here, because we didn't have to make an adapter plate like we had to do here, this one here is a little bit shorter. I'm going to have to learn to live with that because I'm not making an adapter plate for that as well. But this is going to be great. I'm going to repaint this one here when I have a minute. And I'm going to repaint the stands here, so everything's going to be black and white. I reckon it's going to look really, really cool. But it is late, I'm filthy. I'm going to go home and shower and have a beer. And tomorrow we're going to go to Total Tools or wherever, buy a grinding stand because I'm not fucking making one. And then we're going to finish this joint off and it's going to look mint. Okay, so part 2. Now let me get one thing clear. Please, for the love of all things holy, do not buy the Detroit stand that I bought here. It's from Total Tools. It is absolutely garbage. It is cheap, it is nasty, and whoever designed it should be shot. Like, the whole thing will shake uncontrollably, and I reckon if you lean against it a bit too hard, the whole thing's gonna fall apart and snap on you, which is definitely not what you want, especially when you want to do some serious work with this thing. I actually ended up welding up a whole new stand for this thing as well, which is a hell of a lot nicer, and I'll actually show you later. Now, we're setting up the last one with a chem set, and you see I learned my lesson here. I actually left them nice and long, the anchor bolts, just so I can thread it on there nice and easily by myself, and I'm not fighting against it as much. This one here was the smoothest out of all the stands we did, and it slotted on there, no dramas. Now, here we're just doing a bit of wiring real quick, and I'm going to use this opportunity to sort of explain a bit more of the deeper reason why we're actually upgrading the workshop and doing all the changes we are. Because I don't know if it's actually making us more efficient, but I feel like it's making my work better. In the old days, I'd essentially get everything done with just piles of energy drinks and working late nights and just rushing around like a madman, you know, heavy metal music blaring and tools flying around, machines running, dust in the air, all that sort of stuff. And while that's fun, I feel like that chaotic energy sort of, it leaves a mark in the work, and you can sort of feel that that whoever made it was sort of being a bit crazy and just doing crazy shit. And it wasn't clean, it wasn't precise, and I felt like it wasn't the way I wanted it to be. I want to make really, really clean, professional, nice work. And disorganized workshop was just sort of holding me back a little bit. And I can tell you right now, since we've upgraded and since we've been going through a lot of these changes, the quality of my work is a hell of a lot better. The knives that are coming out of the workshop these days are by far the best knives we've ever done. They're cleaner, they're crisper, and they're just a hell of a lot cooler. Alright, so that's it guys. That is the grinding room. Now, some of the things that I love about this setup is, number one, it is just more open in here. Before we had that massive workbench, it just sort of felt claustrophobic, especially when we started to do classes of 2 and 3 people. You know, you had 3 or 4 guys in here at a time, and it was just claustrophobic, and it was starting to be, it was just not what I wanted it to be. Now it's all open, which is great, and you can clean in here, which is just so much nicer. Before, there were so many nooks and crannies to dust to sort of collect. It was impossible to clean properly, and it was just building up a lot of sawdust, a lot of titanium and steel dust, and it was sort of becoming a bit of a safety hazard. These days, whenever I leave the workshop, I run through here with the air compressor and I blow down all the tools. The next morning I'll come in first thing and I'll sweep up the floor, and that's really reduced the amount of dust sitting in this place. I feel like I make 3 or 4 kilos of dust a week, and I'm not even grinding 3 or 4 kilos of knives. I'm not quite sure where it's all coming from, but you know, magic and some shit. But yeah, this is the workshop. One of the things that I did have to upgrade is this thing. So the original stand I got from Total Tools was absolutely garbage, so we did do a bit of an upgrade. We've welded this thing up here with a space for the VFD and a space for the bucket. I'll be making more of these things here, and we're going to be putting them to these grinders as well, just to replace this setup here. I'd also like to add a dust extraction chute. I've got something designed and something planned up that I want to make, but it's going to be costing a heck of a lot more than I have right now to sort of get it up and set up correctly. At the moment, that's doing a pretty good job of keeping the dust down these days, just due to us making less dust with some of the upgrades we've done in our process. But yeah, thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit spotty, the footage was a bit awkward, but I really wanted to kind of bring you guys along into some of the evolutions in the business and the evolutions in what DV Blades is becoming. I've got some more videos planned for you next week, so if you enjoy the current upload schedule, let me know, drop it in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.